What's up, YouTube? This is your friendly neighborhood movie nerd, back to give you guys the insight into everything going on in the world of movies. So, you all know who Jordan Peele is. He is the slightly lesser known half of the famous Key and Peele comedy duo. So he has been living pretty large off of the success of those sketches for the past 5 years. But he's continuing this streak this year with his directorial debut, Get Out. The trailers had me completely intrigued in this movie. Just everything that was going on with the crazy racist undertones and stuff. So going in, Jordan made it really apparent in a lot of the interviews that he was trying to make this movie in order to recognize the fact of there are still a lot of people out there who believe that racism no longer exists in our society. And he wants to make those people aware of that with this movie. Now, was this movie the social commentary that everybody thinks it was? Let's get into that in my official review for Get Out.
No.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
So in Get Out, Daniel Kaluuya, better known for Black Mirror and Skins, portrays Chris, who is dating this girl named Rose, played by Allison Williams from Girls. Rose is taking him upstate to New York to meet her rich parents, portrayed by Bradley Whitford from The West Wing and Catherine Keener from The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Upon meeting them, Chris immediately gets the sense that despite all the love they're showing him, something very weird is brewing under the surface of this supposed utopia. Things get even worse, however, when it's brought to his attention that several black people have gone missing in this development. In an age where genre is starting to become such a tired trope due to the fact that we've seen almost every aspect of it played out, it's nice to get a film that mixes things up a little bit. And this film does that in spades. I really enjoyed this film for a lot of different reasons. For starters, while the trailers pitched this as a straight horror with a racist undertone, the film ended up having a lot more comedic tones than I realized, and it surprisingly did not detract from the pacing of the movie. This is strange considering that if this were any other movie directed by any other director, throwing a joke into the middle of a horrific scene would ultimately detract from the viewing experience and throw the audience for a loop. But because this is coming from the mind of Jordan Peele, it makes perfect sense for the flow of the movie and it only enhances it as the film goes on. The comedic elements in this film also help to give it a self-awareness that I didn't realize that I wanted, especially once the twists come in. This really could have been a situation where the trailer reveals everything about the movie, leaving nothing for the audience to enjoy, but Peele manages to throw you for a complete loop by the end of it, which left me with a lot more to enjoy than I thought going in. That being said, the parts where this movie struggles are exactly where all the politically minded reviewers are going to make something out of nothing, which is the social commentary aspect. So going into this film, I heard almost every person who'd seen it say this was a social commentary about how racism is still apparent in America. And I get all that. But I do have to say that if there was any kind of a social commentary, it felt really so subtle that I could barely tell. And that's not a bad thing about the movie per se. It just means I got something different than I originally anticipated, which I really much prefer because I've said on multiple occasions that films with extremely preachy, in-your-face messages can really, really bug me. Oh, not to mention that the fact that this film tried to convince me that Catherine Keener could hypnotize me by tapping a spoon on a teacup. Ridiculous. Performances all around the board were really fantastic, particularly from the lead, Daniel Kaluuya, who had previously starred in my second favorite episode of Black Mirror. But for me, the show stealer was surprisingly the guy who portrayed his best friend, Lil Rel Howery. I had to look that up to make sure that I was spelling that and pronouncing that correctly because I'm white. He stole absolutely every scene he was in. He was dropped at hilarious, and he turned what could have been the stereotypical black best friend role into a fully fleshed out character who you could tell really cared about his friend. I liked all the other supporting performances. Bradley Whitford was really good. I like him. Allison Williams was good. Catherine Keener surprised me in that she didn't piss me off in this movie. So while not the social commentary that I was expecting, the self-awareness, the surprisingly subtle tones, and overall extremely thrilling and dropped-in hilarious beats I got from this movie were enough to make me simultaneously be on the edge of my seat and laughing hysterically throughout the entire film's runtime. It was so much fun to watch, and the fact that it wasn't an in-your-face about the message makes Get Out one of the best movies I've seen so far this year, 9 out of 10 stars. Now granted, it is only the 5th film I've seen so far this year, but I have a feeling that this is going to be on my top 10 best movies of the year list. Alright, that's it. That is my official review for Get Out. What did you guys think? Do you think that Jordan Peele should join a franchise going forward, or do you think that he should stick to independence? Whatever you think, leave it in the comments below. Make sure you click that like button, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Movie Nerd Review. Head on over to my website, movienerdreviews.com. That is it. I will see you guys next time.